Why do victims of abuse find it difficult to leave their abusive environments? Why did they find it so hard to separate from their abusers? Have you witnessed a friend, a neighbor, somebody that is being abused for such a long time, and you've tried your best to actually make them leave that situation, and it just doesn't work? Why is it so hard for them to leave the relationship? A lot of times we do not talk about the addictive nature of trauma bond. Today I want to talk about trauma bond and its addictive nature and practical steps you can take to start to prepare your separation from that environment if you find yourself or you know somebody that is in that situation right now. My name is Joy Seki. I'm your recovery therapist and emotional wellness coach. I work with individuals virtually from anywhere in the world to achieve their mental well-being and healing journey. Connect with me on Instagram and Twitter at African Therapist. Remember to like and subscribe to my channel now. Thank you. Regardless of what part of the world you live in, I'm very sure that it's likely you have witnessed or maybe experienced it personally, a form of trauma bond. Okay, there are people that we see being abused in their relationships as adults, and we wonder why they cannot just leave the damn relationship. Everybody tells them what to do, how to live, make ways of escape for them, and still they just can't. And people get fed up. They start to call them names. They say they are stupid, they are foolish. But are the victims really stupid or foolish? Why is it so? Why is it difficult for them? You have to know that a lot of victims of trauma bond actually started this method of bonding from childhood. Okay, it started from childhood when these victims had a kind of consistent abuse with their caregivers. Caregiver in this case can be any adult in their life that was supposed to be their guardian and in charge of guiding these children as they grew. Okay, and over time, the nature of abuse or the system or pattern of abuse became internalized, and so that formed a form of attachment for them when it comes to relationship. Okay, so they now have this kind of bond with their abusive partners or abusive friends because it's been formed from growing up. Okay, they kind of become like addicted. That's the word I was looking for. Addicted to somebody that is abusing them. And it's not their fault. It's just the way addiction works. Anything that is addictive, it's always very difficult to separate from. Okay, when an individual or a child has been so exposed to abuses from somebody that should have taken care of them, this becomes their norm. They don't see relationships any other way. This is what they've known. This is what they see as the norm. So it's that's why I said internalized. It becomes an internalized pattern. Okay, the behavior is now internalized, and it becomes their own attachment style in relationships, right? Now, what happens in adults? We see it in different circles. Usually 5 circles. In some cases they say 6, but the common one that I know is 5 circles. The first time is the love bombing. The adult figure or the friend or whatever. If it's the child, the adult figure is trying to buy this child's vulnerability. They are loving and kind towards this child. They are there for the child. If it's a spouse, they are kind. If it's a relationship, maybe you're just dating this person, they are so charming. Oh, they are so kind to you. They're giving you everything. And then you fall head over heels in love. They gain your vulnerability. Okay, that's where it comes from. They are bombing you with love. You're feeling happy and excited, so you become really vulnerable towards them. Okay, that's what abusers don't come as abusers. They come very kindly, very charming, very loving. A lot of them, that's how they come. Okay, it's after they've gained your vulnerability, after they have been able to take your heart, that's when they strike. All right, so when you have become vulnerable, what happened is the next stage, the honeymoon stage or the dependency stage. That means you have become dependent on them for love. After all, they were there for you, they have shown you love, they have proven like they are the only person that love you the most in this world, so you are kind of in a honeymoon relationship with them where you feel like this is it, is this person or not, right? And so you become dependent on them for validation, all right? And it's just after that stage they strike, because now they see that you have started to depend on them. Because if you were not yet in that stage where you depend on them, they can't strike, they can't do anything to you, right? So once you have started to depend on them, what happened? They strike, right? And so the abuse comes in, right? They start to abuse you or make you feel invalidated. These abuses can be emotional. They speak words, hurtful words to you, talk to you unkindly. Remember that this is the same person that was so loving to you in the beginning, the first circle, bombing you with love, and you're feeling so excited. And now this same individual is abusive, is intolerant of your behavior. Little things, can be physical. Sometimes you're hit, they beat you up, and then what happens after all of this has been done? You're crying, you're complaining, right? Because you're hurt, you're suffering, you're in pain. And then what happens? They blame you. That's the gaslighting stage. That's the phase 4. They blame you for what they did to you. And this is where some people they feel like they are insane because they can't understand it. Somebody is hurting you and making you feel like you are the reason why they hit you. It was because of what you said. That's why they did that to you. It was because of how you said it, or how you behaved, or how you looked at them. If you are a child, it was because of how you did the things or didn't do it. That's why they did what they did to you. Remember that they've already showered you with love. Remember that you have passed through the second stage of dependency. You have become dependent on them for love, right? So it's in stages. So you already have this person's trust. You trust this person. This person already have your trust. You trust this person. So it's not something that can easily be broken yet. And now, this person that you trust, that you have become vulnerable to, is hurting you, whether verbally, physically, or in whatever form. You're feeling hurt, you're suffering there in that situation, and the person is gaslighting you. Gaslighting is when somebody does something to you and try to make it look like it's your fault, that you're the reason why they did it. And so when you kind of, try to fight back, they let you know that it's because you did it. And as long as you did not accept that you did it, there will be a problem. They will withdraw their affection from you. They will withdraw that love you have started to depend on from them. They will withdraw it from you. Okay? They let you kind of see that for peace to reign, for you to get back my love and my attention, you need my love. You need my care. You need my compassion. Whatever it is you depend on them for. Okay? You need this thing. And so what happens? After the struggle, you struggle and you see that, okay, if I don't accept that I'm the one at fault, this thing's going to continue. Right? So you accept that you are the one at fault. Even as I said that I felt it, because this is where the pain is. Somebody is being abused, and then the person had to accept that they are the fault. They are the reason why they are being abused. That's where you see victims make excuses for their abusers. They said, oh, it was because of the way I spoke to him. Sometimes I don't talk to him well. I don't know whether you've heard those things. I've heard them. I read them on social media, where the wife starts to make excuses for the husband that batters her, gives her blue eyes and all of that. Once they settle, she said, oh, it's the way I talk to him. Sometimes you even hear people talking about it. They say, oh, it's the way the woman talks to the man. I hear those things a lot, especially when it comes to relationships. And then I kind of like, are you blaming the victim? Are you saying that, okay, this person made him lost his control? What did he do before then? But people already ask those questions. They say, oh, men are abusive towards women because women talk a lot, women say whatever, and then they provoke this man, and then the man beats them. That's victim blaming. You're blaming the victim for somebody else's lack of control. And that's where this thing is. So you start to accept that, okay, you were wrong. And a lot of times you apologize, even though you're being abused. So if you are going through this, I'm really emphasizing it. In whatever way you're looking at your pattern around this circle, I want your eyes cleared. I want you to see what is happening here. You are not the one at fault. This person quietly won your heart, okay? Saw that you have become dependent on them for love, okay? And this person, being an abuser, is now striking you. Before they strike you, usually, they would make sure that they withdraw your power. Sometimes that's when the man will tell the woman that, I don't want you working anymore. So kind of withdraw her financial power, if it's in a relationship, you know, so that you don't have that power, that means of escape, you know, because when people want to abuse you, they want you dependent on them. That's the dependency stage. They always want you to depend on them, because once you don't depend too much on someone, it's difficult for them to abuse you. That's the role you kind of play. That's part where you give up yourself to depend on somebody else totally for love, for validation, for finances, for everything. Okay, so I want you to see how this thing is playing out. Okay, so by the time you become so dependent on them, you're married to this man, you don't have any source of income, you depend on him for everything, and you can't just move out because you need money, because that's one of the challenges people have. Some people actually recognize the fact that they need to leave, but where do they go to? If you're in Africa, it's very difficult for you to go back to your parents' home when your marriage is not working out, even when you're being beaten black and blue, and this is really unfortunate. Okay, because people are trying to save family names and leave their children in abusive and toxic environments. So that means you don't have a place to fall back, so there's no money. So you continue to stay there, you know, while looking for a means to leave. So that's why they make sure that you are dependent on them. It's part of the game. So I want you to take note of this. It's somebody that cares for you, that you have a relationship with, whether as a parent, child, or as boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, whatever the dynamics is. If it gets to the point where they're kind of taking away your little means of, you know, empowerment, that's a red sign. That's a red sign. Don't just see that, oh, they are trying to take away all your suffering. They don't want you working. They just want to take care of you totally. I'm not saying that this is always the case, but I'm saying that you should shine your eye once you're in that stage. Okay, because you're a human being. You can't totally just depend on somebody else for everything. Okay, it's dangerous, right? So that's the stages. They make you feel like then that you are the one at fault, and then you start to apologize. And the moment you apologize, what happens? There's calmness. That's the stage 5, the calmness stage. At least now there's peace. So what happens? They reinforce the behavior by giving you back the love and calmness and joy and happiness, whatever it is, the finances, the money, they give it back to you. So because of the dynamics, how this thing is playing out, you know, whatever is reinforced, whatever behavior is reinforced, what happens? Reinforcement is strengthening. You are strengthening that behavior. Okay, so in that moment there's calmness. So in a way, because you are in this dynamic where you see that, okay, once I calm down, once I accept that I'm at fault, I get back his love, I get back her love. What happens? Once they have abused you, you will find a way to calm down. You will find a way to apologize so that you can get back their love, because you become dependent on this love and validation from them. Okay, and the more this thing continues, it becomes addictive. And just like everything that is addictive, the withdrawal stage can be very challenging, painful, because this person has withdrawn their love from you, and you need it, right? You know, if you have met people who are addicted to stuff, once they're in that withdrawal stage where that thing is not being given to them, they are going through a lot. So that's the same thing with you. Once you have become addicted to this circle, this kind of relationship with the individual or the caretaker, whoever it is, so you always come back for their love. You always come back, even in as much as you try. That's the stage where everybody's trying to get this individual out of this mess, and they keep going back. Because the moment you separate them, they're experiencing a form of withdrawal. And then they feel like they need this love again, they need this attention, they need this person's validation. They go back. And in that moment they go back, they apologize, this person reinforces that love, they feel cool again, and then they start to tell everybody, we are fine, we're just okay. There's nothing wrong. I was the one at fault. And then that's why he lost his temper, or she lost her temper. That's why she did what she did. Right? And then the pattern continues again. and then on and on. And this is how many people have found themselves in very toxic, terrible relationships. So if you are in this kind of relationship, or you know somebody that is there, what can you do? The first thing is to be aware of this circle. Be aware of this pattern of behavior. Know where you fall in. What stage are you in? Are they currently, love bombing you, giving you all the love and attention? I'm not saying everybody that loves you so much, because actually we need true love. But for the abuser, there's no true love. Their love it's transactional. They're just loving you just to make you vulnerable, not because that they truly love you. So you have to be able to discern between true love and love that is built on abuse. Okay? You have to be able to know the difference. So if you're in that stage where somebody is loving you so much, you don't start thinking that, oh, is this person trying to make me vulnerable and then start to attack me? No, it's not always like that. Don't get too suspicious. We need love. We all love love. Okay? But then, shine your eye. Yes. And then, so when you are in that point where somebody is withdrawing your means of empowerment, they want you out of the job. Sometimes they keep you away from your family and friends. They say, just me and you against the world. I'm here for you, you are here for me. That's another subtle way they do it. They kind of disconnect you from your family. They create a lot of tensions, issues between you and your family. So you become very distant from your family. It's also part of it. So you become very dependent on them. So it's not just about the money you lose, not going to work and all of that. It's also the way they disconnect you from your friends and your family. Alright, I really believe that relationship should not be something that isolates us. So if your relationship is becoming isolating, where you're losing contact with your friends, with your family, you're not able to relate with as many people as possible, somebody is always complaining that you're having friends or you're going to the family, I think you should be cautious. That could be a warning sign. I don't know. So I'm giving you things that I've used now to help some of my clients that went through this. That could be, you might have to take precaution. Yes. Why is this person telling you that you should disconnect from your friends? Why is this person telling you that you should cut off from your family? For what purpose? Why? Why? So you want to ask, you want to be vigilant, you want to know why. So know, and then know this circle. That's the first thing. Know the circle, and then know why. Be observant. Observe what is happening in your relationship. Don't just do things just because you feel that you are in love. Be observant, all right? And then the next thing that I shared here, I said, because I really wanted to emphasize on that. I said that you have, before you separate sometimes, I said you might need to contact your family and friends to renew old ties. Okay, especially if you have been cut off from your means of financial resource, and so you're not able to move out immediately, and then you are thinking, okay, how long before I get money for rent and all of that, that might take a longer time. You might be dead, because abusers also kill their victims. It might get worse. So sometimes you might just have to renew your old ties with your family and friends, and then tell them what is happening. So that could be a temporary place to stay, pending when you get a job or you get a means of livelihood. Okay, if it's your parents, if it's a caregiver that is doing this to you, you want to connect with other relatives, or you have some friends or families around that you can let them know what is happening to you. Okay, if you're a teenager, this is also common among adolescents, and your parents is abusing you in one way or another. Maybe your father is abusing you, or your mother is abusing you, whatever is happening. You're in a dynamic where you don't have parents, you're living with relatives, and they are doing this to you. You want to speak up, because sometimes they just silence you, and then you're not able to talk, and you disconnect from everybody else. You want to find somebody that you trust. It can be a family, a friend, a church member, or a religious, any form of religion that you are into. You want to let them know what is happening to you. Speak up, because one of the first things they do is take away the voices of the victim, so you become silent and downtrodden. Speak up. Okay, tell somebody. There must be somebody that you trust. Let them know what is happening. Okay, and then get a job, find a way, learn a trade. You need money to feed, because you become dependent on this person, right? You need money, you need to take care of yourself, right? And then get therapy, okay? Because a lot of times, if you're an adult and this is happening to you, maybe you are in a relationship, marital relationship, or you're dating as an adult, it could be that you experience trauma bond with any of your caretakers, and so you are kind of reenacting this behavior again with your adult relationships. So you want to seek therapy and deal with it. You want to heal that part of you that is bringing back this form of relationships. That's where therapy becomes very helpful. Seek help, seek professional help, seek the help of well-being coaches. Seek help, okay? And then know that you deserve love. This is very key for me, because people that have experienced trauma bond, especially from childhood, that's the only thing you've known. You don't know love, you don't know relationship outside that kind of thing. So love could be strange to you, okay? This is your norm. Abusive relationships, it's a cycle for you, and then you start to see that, you start to feel that this is how life ought to be. No, you deserve love. Life can be loving, life can be kind, life can be good, and that's what I want you to see. Believe that you deserve to be loved. Whatever happened to you was an event. You didn't deserve it. No matter what, you didn't deserve it. That's what I want you to know. And then I also want you to know that if you something you experienced as a child, and then your parents might have experienced the same thing. It's a cycle. Okay, you need to break free if you know that you want to have children in the future. You don't want to continue in that pattern. So there's no need blaming. You just want to heal. You are not looking for whom to blame. You are not an adult. It's your responsibility to heal. Okay? Because it's likely that whoever did it to you, whoever your caretakers were, it's very likely, there's a high chance that that's what they went through. So they are just giving back what is in them, giving back what they know, the kind of lifestyle they know. This is not to make excuse for anyone, because whoever is abusing people should seek help. Okay, they actually do need help. Both the victim and the abuser need help. I just want you to know that continually blaming your parents for, because my parents were abusive towards me, that's why I'm in this kind of relationships now, that's why I can't have good relationships, those won't help you. You have to take responsibility. Self-blaming does not allow for self-healing. You want to heal. You don't want to keep blaming. You want to recognize the fact that that might have been their experience, but it doesn't have to be your continued experience. You want to free yourself, and you have the power to free yourself. You are aware of this now. That's why I'm doing this video. You know about this now. You also know that you can heal. There are so many people that have gone through this bond and they have broken out of it. You can break it. It's a circle, it's a pattern, and it's breakable. Millions of people have broken away from it, and so can you. Okay, so start the journey. Make up your mind that I deserve love. I deserve better than this. Once you start to have that consciousness, healing has begun. Once you become aware of the fact that you deserve love, you deserve love, that love exists, something better than this exists, that consciousness is already awakened. And with that, it's just a matter of time. You will attract that love. Okay, so I hope that you found this helpful. All right, and remember what I said, seek professional help. Okay, if you need help doing this, wherever you're from, you want to connect with me, we can do this journey together as well. Thank you.